I have a message for you from your person, and it is truly important. Please take a deep breath before you continue reading because this message carries significant weight. It comes from a place of quiet, distance, and hidden regret. And it is reaching you now because every single second feels like it matters. Hello everyone, and welcome to Psych Lens. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, and select the option to receive all notifications. Every video shared here has the potential to shift how you think, often in ways you do not expect or anticipate. Your person has been holding onto something inside for a very long time, much longer than they are willing to admit, and much longer than you are likely aware of. They did not simply wake up one morning and decide to forget about you. They did not suddenly stop caring or find a way to move on as easily as they made it appear. Instead, they kept hidden emotions locked away because they were not ready to deal with them. The thing about suppressed feelings is that they do not just go away. They wait, they linger, and they build up inside until they finally have to burst out. This message is born from a state of internal panic, not a place of strength. Your person is not currently calm or at peace. They feel lost within their own mind, heart, and spirit. Something shifted recently that triggered this. Perhaps they saw something that reminded them of you, heard your name in passing, or maybe their life finally became quiet enough for the truth to get loud. Whatever the catalyst was, it acted as a wake-up call. They are now realizing something that truly terrifies them, the genuine possibility that they might lose you forever. This realization did not come to them gently. It hit them late at night when they could no longer use distractions to keep their thoughts at bay. It happened during those moments when looking at their phone felt hollow and when trying to laugh along with others felt completely fake. The silence forced them to finally confront the questions they had been trying to avoid for so long. They noticed something that truly hurts to acknowledge. They realized that no one else makes them feel the way you do. No one listens to them like you do, or understands them without making them feel judged for their flaws. Your presence provided a sense of safety without being overwhelming. That is exactly when they started to feel this intense rush. Urgency does not simply stem from love alone. It stems from the deep-seated fear of losing something precious that cannot be replaced by anyone else. If your person could speak honestly without being held back by fear or pride, they would tell you that they should have acted much sooner. They wrongly assumed they had more time, and they honestly did not believe you would eventually pull away. They failed to realize how deeply their silence would wound you. They are finally learning the hard lesson that choosing to do nothing is still a choice, and it carries its own consequences. That specific choice cost them the closeness they once shared with you. They feel a deep sense of regret for not being there when it actually mattered, for not speaking up when you truly needed to hear from them, and for not being brave when you needed to know the truth. At the time, staying quiet felt safer, and keeping their distance felt like they were in control of the situation. They mistakenly thought that avoiding these issues was a sign of strength, but they are learning that avoidance always comes with a price. Your person has always struggled to express their true feelings. This is not because they do not feel anything for you, but rather because they feel too much and simply do not know how to handle the intensity of those emotions. Opening up to you felt like a risk of being rejected, and allowing themselves to be vulnerable felt like losing their power in the dynamic. Admitting how they truly felt meant having to face parts of themselves they were not yet prepared to see or accept. Carl Jung once observed that until you make what is hidden in your mind known to yourself, it will continue to rule your life, and you will call it fate. Your person lived that truth without even realizing it. Instead of facing their own feelings, they let fear and pride dictate their choices. They let their silence speak for them. Now, those hidden choices have led to a set of circumstances they can no longer ignore or run away from. They can feel you changing. This is a very important point to understand. Your person can sense that you are not the same person you used to be. Your energy is different, and your reactions have evolved. Your silence now feels heavier than your words ever did. You might still care for them deep down, but you are no longer chasing them for answers or validation. You are no longer exhausting yourself by explaining your side of things, and you are no longer waiting around in a state of sadness. This scares them deeply because they relied on your patience and your kindness far more than they should have. They made the assumption that you would always be there, staying soft and open while they remained closed off. They assumed you would always wait, but they never truly believed you would reach a point where you finally chose yourself over them. Now, they feel it. What they are so afraid of losing is not just you as a person, but the way you made them feel seen and understood. They are losing the emotional home they did not even realize they needed to protect and take care of. They are coming to the realization that not every connection in life can be recreated, and not every bond can be easily replaced by someone new. They are asking themselves if they have ruined the one relationship that actually mattered. This question follows them into their quietest moments and haunts them whenever they try to move on with someone else. It arises whenever they find themselves comparing others to you and feeling the stark difference immediately. This is where the rush they are feeling originates. It is not about wanting to control you, but about the terrifying knowledge that time is running out. They feel that if they wait any longer, you will be gone for good on an emotional level. They feel a door closing, not with a loud slam, but with a quiet, soft shut. That is the most dangerous kind of ending, because once it closes completely, it does not open again easily. They want to reach out to you and apologize the right way, without making excuses, but fear is still holding them back. Fear keeps asking them, what if it is already too late? Or what if you simply do not care about them anymore? So, they hesitate, writing messages to you only to delete them shortly after. They practice conversations in their heads that never actually happen, all while the feeling of urgency grows stronger within them. This message is not a promise that everything is already fixed or that the past is erased. It is a confession. They are admitting that they were wrong to take you for granted, and they are genuinely scared that they have hurt you far too much to ever be forgiven. Realizing the truth too late is a painful experience because it happens when you no longer have control over the outcome. What this means for you is what truly matters in this situation. This message is not telling you what you need to do, nor is it asking you to wait any longer. It is simply sharing the truth of their internal state. You mattered to them far more than they were willing to show, and your absence is now louder than your presence ever was. What you choose to do next is entirely up to you. Power does not require you to rush just because someone else is suddenly in a state of panic. Most people tend to forget that a sudden sense of urgency does not automatically mean someone is actually ready to change their behavior. Your person feels this way because they are finally forced to face the consequences of how they acted. Your person is replaying old moments and seeing them very differently now through the lens of loss instead of their own ego. They remember how you used to check on them and how you tried to understand their perspective instead of blaming them for their distance. They realized that you were meeting them at a deep emotional level they were not yet ready to handle. Carl Jung spoke about the heavy burdens we carry from the past, and your person has been living a life where they avoided growing up emotionally. Now they feel completely exposed, even in the middle of your silence. Before, silence felt like space they could enjoy, but now it feels like a vast, unbridgeable distance. They sense that you are no longer waiting for them to catch up to you, and you are no longer building your life around their confusion and inconsistency. They are afraid that you have finally found peace without them, and that you no longer need their answers or a big confrontation to move forward. You have simply moved on with your life. This is absolutely terrifying to them because they relied so heavily on you always being available. They see now that you were never asking for perfection from them. You were only asking for them to be present and consistent. They chose their own comfort over the bravery required to be open, and they used the need for space as a convenient excuse to hide. But being ready for a relationship is a choice, and they did not choose it when you were offering them your heart. That realization hurts deeply because that offer is no longer there in the same way it used to be. They feel the shift in the way you talk and the way you no longer try to prove your worth to them. They thought you would wait forever because you were so gentle and kind, but they did not understand that even the deepest patience has a limit. They are now stuck between the intense desire for you and the paralyzing fear of the work it will take to keep you. This is exactly why their energy feels so messy and inconsistent right now. They are not at peace because their current actions still do not match the feelings they are dealing with inside. They imagine being better and doing better, but the reality requires them to actually follow through, and that is where their fear stops them every single time. They are afraid they might just let you down again. You should know that you are no longer waiting for empty words. You are looking for real, tangible change. You have matured significantly. You have done the hard, necessary work of sitting with your own pain and finding your own clarity. Your person is only just beginning that process now. Even if they do decide to speak up, things cannot go back to exactly how they were because the trust has been fundamentally changed. They are currently standing at a door. Behind them is the false safety of hiding, and in front of them is the genuine risk of being honest. They know that if they do absolutely nothing, you will be gone for good. But reaching out means they have to look at themselves and acknowledge their mistakes. You are currently sensing this transition taking place. Your person is finally facing the weight of their own actions, and you are no longer caught in the middle of it with them. You have moved ahead. Loss often whispers before it finally screams. Your person is hearing that whisper now. They feel it deep down when they realize they no longer know where they stand with you. They see you moving forward, not out of anger or bitterness, but out of a clear mind and a steady heart. They are finally facing the truth they spent so long trying to run from. Jung said that what you resist will only keep following you. Your person resisted your connection and the emotional work it required, and now that pressure has grown too big to ignore, they are not just afraid of losing you, they are afraid of what this loss says about who they are. They know now that this was never really about bad timing, it was always about fear. They remember the times they could have been honest with you, but instead chose to stay quiet. Those small missed opportunities now feel incredibly heavy. They see clearly that you did not just leave. You slowly but surely changed your own life to fit the reality they were providing you. You stopped filling in the gaps for them, and you stopped trading your inner peace for their fleeting attention. You changed quietly and with clear intention. They notice that you no longer lean in toward them, and you no longer try so hard to be understood. Your current sense of calm is what scares them the most, because they know that being calm means you have firmly made up your mind. You are no longer fighting for things to change. They are finally learning the hard way that they can no longer use their own uncertainty to keep you waiting on the sidelines. You are now standing in a place of genuine self-respect, and that shift in energy changes all the old rules. They are afraid to reach out because they know they are still not ready. They desperately want to tell you that they cared, but they know that arriving at the truth too late does not fix the damage they caused. An apology cannot bring back lost trust without a fundamental change in their behavior. They are completely stuck between the person they used to be, who hides, and the person they need to become, who grows. There is no path to growth that does not involve some pain. They are currently sitting in that pain. They see now that you were like a mirror that showed them their own potential, and they turned away from it because they were not prepared to face it. Now they feel entirely disconnected from themselves. They are starting to see that delaying their personal growth did not mean avoiding it. It just meant that the process hurts much more when it finally arrives. They truly admire the fact that you did not fall apart when they left. You grew, you chose yourself, and that makes them respect you even more. They realize they cannot come to you with half-hearted efforts anymore. They are struggling because they do not want to come back as the same person, yet they do not have the slightest idea who they are without their defensive walls. However, their internal struggle does not mean you are required to open back up to them. Their sense of urgency does not define your value. You have become the person you were meant to be without needing their permission to exist. You are not being cold or uncaring, you are simply being clear. Evolution naturally changes who we are compatible with. Your person senses that the version of you who would do anything for them is gone. Perspective comes from moving through deep disappointment, and that experience has changed you forever. Your person knows that you would listen to them calmly now, And that is far more intimidating to them than your anger ever was, because it clearly shows you are now in total control of yourself. You have been transformed, and you cannot simply undo that progress just to make them feel better about themselves. They want to return to the connection without having to change the difficult, broken parts of themselves, and that internal tension is exactly what keeps them from taking action. They know that you no longer need their excuses in order to be okay. You left because simply caring was not enough for you. You needed a partner who was actually present. They are grieving the version of you that waited for them. This grief forces them to be honest, but it comes very late in the game. They are starting to accept their part in the distance between you, but they still do not know if reaching out will actually help, or if it will only cause more hurt. They are afraid because they know that once the truth is out in the open, they can no longer hide behind their usual games. You are no longer someone they can be vague with. You are grounded. Your job is not to save them from their own discomfort or to make things easier for them. Your job is to respect the incredible progress you have made. You are not responding to their panic. You are patiently waiting for things to be right. When someone finally realizes your worth too late, it feels good to hear, but that should not be your goal. The true goal is what you decide to do with your new life. A sudden sense of panic is not the same thing as being ready to be a better person. Do not let empathy pull you back into a situation that was not healthy for you. You have finally reached a place where you stopped waiting and started living. Your person feels that you are acting from a place of deep self-trust now. You lived through the loneliness of being with someone who was not really there for you. That experience taught you the difference between a temporary spark and true, reliable safety. Your person is only just now learning that a relationship needs consistent work, not just intense feelings. They are not a villain, but you are not responsible for fixing them or their mistakes. You already chose yourself. If they eventually speak, you will be able to hear them with a clear head. You will know instantly if they have actually changed or if they are just acting out of fear. You do not have to walk backward just to help them. This message is here to take away your doubt. You were never asking for too much. You were simply asking for the basic requirements of a good, healthy relationship. If there is a future for you two, it has to be on your new, higher level. If not, you will keep moving forward with the peace you have finally found. Walk with respect for yourself. If this message helped you, please write the word clarity in the comments to show that you are choosing yourself. Like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this right now. Subscribe to stay connected, because the next message will come exactly when you need to hear it. I have one more final piece of this message for you, and it carries a truth that might be the hardest for your person to face. Please stay with me, because as your person sits in this silence, they are beginning to realize that the version of you they once knew is gone for good. You have not just moved on, you have been reborn. Your person is watching from a distance as you build a life that no longer has a hole shaped like them. For a long time, they comforted themselves with the comforting idea that they were the main character in your story. They thought that your sadness, your waiting, and your hope were all tied to them. But now they see clearly that the story has continued and they have become nothing more than a background character. This realization is a massive blow to their ego, but it is also the very thing that is finally forcing them to grow. They are seeing that you are happy, not because of them, but because you finally decided that your own happiness was more important than their potential. They miss the way you used to look at them, but they are also deeply intimidated by the way you look at the world now. You look at things with eyes that see through their games and a heart that no longer accepts small scraps of attention. Your person is currently wrestling with the painful fact that they might have been nothing more than a lesson for you, while you were the single greatest missed opportunity for them. They are starting to understand that you did not just give up, you leveled up. This is why their energy feels so heavy and stuck right now. They are mourning the loss of the old version of you while simultaneously realizing they are not yet strong enough to meet the new you. They are realizing that love is not just a feeling you keep on a shelf to take down whenever you are bored. It is a living thing that requires a safe, nurtured environment to survive. You took that environment away when they refused to help you build it. As they watch you from afar, they are learning that the greatest form of power is not holding someone's heart while they wait for you to decide. It is being the person who is strong enough to walk away when that heart is not being honored. You have become that person. And while they are still stuck in the what-ifs of the past, you are already living in the reality of what is. The urgency they feel is a clear sign that they are finally catching up to the reality you accepted months ago. They are finally feeling the weight of the space they left behind. But remember, their awakening is their own journey, not your destination. You have already arrived at a place of genuine peace. Keep standing firmly in your truth. Keep honoring your boundaries with consistency, and keep moving toward the light of your own growth. You have already done the difficult work, and now the universe is simply aligning the rest of the world with the version of you that truly knows your own worth.